came to Sydney, Australia as part of my goal to run a marathon on every continent on the planet. A few people ask me how I do one-man marathons on my own. Even though my goal is to run 7 marathons on 7 continents, I don't do formal marathons. I do them all by myself. The day before the marathon in Australia, I sat down at the airport and I tried to find 26.2 miles to run. I meant to find it before, but I was on Green Island. It's this little island on the Great Barrier Reef. My wife and kids came with me to Australia, and my hippie chick wife wanted to see one of the natural wonders of the world. I had a great time with the family and I loved snorkeling. The problem was that the high-speed internet that they promoted on the island hardly worked, and when it did work, it was incredibly slow. No problem, there was supposed to be Wi-Fi at the airport, so that's where I decided to sit and work. But I couldn't find the path at the airport before my flight. I'm at the airport in Cairns, and it's my kid calling me, and I still don't know my route for tomorrow's marathon. When we got to the Airbnb near the starting point of my marathon, Olivia helped get the kids to bed and I kept looking. At this point you might be wondering why I don't just do formal marathons instead of trying to figure this all out on my own. Well, I've got a busy work schedule, my wife has hard work that she's really proud of, and we both want to spend time with our kids. I can't make my schedule work with some race organizer's schedule. I've got to do it on my own. So that's what I was doing in Australia. I think I'm comfortable with that because I'm an entrepreneur. As an entrepreneur, there's nobody who's going to tell you what to do. Yeah, you can read books, and I've got a Kindle full of books on business, and they're helpful. And you can talk to entrepreneurs, and on my podcast at Mixergy, I've talked to over 1,500 entrepreneurs. Again, helpful. But ultimately, I've got to figure it out for myself. Same thing with this run. And so that's what I was doing. I did get a few race maps from a friend who I met through my Mixergy interviews and her husband. The problem with those was that they went through a bunch of streets, and what I really wanted was beautiful, inspiring scenery. A few weeks before, I realized that the creator of an app called Footpath messaged me on Twitter, and he told me that his app would help me find running paths and give me turn-by-turn directions. So an hour before my marathon, I went to a local bakery and I started using it. You know, it's easy to get cynical about entrepreneurship and tech and feel like everyone has a startup and startups don't matter anymore, but you know what, they do. I think startups, entrepreneurship, I think entrepreneurs change the world. And on that day, the maker of that app changed my world. I think I got my route. So after a stressful morning of planning, I started my marathon. All right, Australia Marathon. Tired. Australia Marathon starting right now. And soon after that, I got my payoff. Wow, Bondi Beach. I saw this so much online. Feels beautiful. My run had stairs and other challenges that you wouldn't find on an ordinary formal race, but the payoffs were worth it to me. Like the small things, like finding myself on Marathon Street. And the views were exciting because they were customized to me. I'm the only one I know who pisses on the idea of pursuing happiness. I don't want to pursue happiness. I want to pursue things that are meaningful, even if that meaningful work doesn't make me happy in the moment. What takes me by surprise is how happy I am as a byproduct of doing tough, meaningful work. That's what happened around mile 12. Sydney Opera House, I'm getting closer. Unlike regular marathons, I didn't have anyone handing me water, so I went into stores to buy what I needed and I carried it all on my backpack. Some of my plans changed, and at times I got a little bit lost. Is that the bridge up there?
Where are you trying to get?
I thought... The worst part was occasionally having to take my phone out and look through the map and see how to get back on track. Or having to go through random obstacles that I didn't anticipate. But I did it. Let me catch my breath. I just finished, according to my Apple Watch, 26.37 miles. And I did it my way. I wanted to be absolutely sure that every single app I had on me said at least 26.2 miles. With my family's support. Okay, I'll end the Apple Watch. And here come my kids. Hey, I did it! Hit the like button on this video if you want to give me a virtual high five, and subscribe if you want to follow along as I work through this year's goal of running a marathon on every continent, including the toughest of them all, Antarctica. And pursue your own path. It's really worth it.